Have you ever found yourself wincing with discomfort, knowing you haven't been regular for a few days or maybe even a week, and wishing there was a simpler solution than choking down harsh laxatives? Constipation can creep up on anyone, but for seniors, it often becomes a stubborn, nagging problem that robs your energy and peace of mind. The good news is, many doctors and nutritionists agree that the key to better digestion and softer, more predictable movements can lie in the foods you choose. By making small changes to your daily meals, especially once you're past 60 or 70, you can help your body move waste along more easily. In fact, there are 5 particular foods that keep coming up in research and anecdotal stories for their ability to fight constipation. If you've been battling dryness, bloating, or that uncomfortable sense of blockage, you might be surprised by how quickly things change once you begin including these foods. Instead of dreading the side effects of harsh remedies, you could find relief right in your pantry or produce drawer. Think of Mary, a 72-year-old retiree who used to consider constipation an inevitable part of aging. Over time, her movements became sporadic, maybe every 3 days, sometimes every 4. She felt sluggish and heavy, and her doctor warned her that infrequent bowel movements could lead to more serious issues like hemorrhoids or diverticulitis if ignored. She tried over-the-counter fiber powders, but they made her feel bloated. She tried stimulant laxatives, which gave her cramps and gas. Finally, Mary started learning more about nutrition, stumbling upon a few specific foods that seniors in her social circle swore by. Intrigued, she gradually added them to her normal meals, hoping for at least a mild improvement. What happened blew her away. Within a couple of weeks, her bowel habits became more predictable and less strained. She felt lighter, had more energy, and was even in a better mood because she wasn't carrying that uncomfortable fullness all day. Mary realized that while doctors often mention eat more fiber, they rarely highlight which specific foods can make the biggest difference. So she delved deeper, discovering that there are certain superstar items seniors rely on for consistent relief. Before we explore what those items might be, let's talk about why constipation becomes more common after 60 or 70, as the body ages. The muscles in the digestive tract can lose some of their tone and strength, meaning peristalsis, those rhythmic contractions that move waste along, slows down. Many seniors also take multiple medications for blood pressure, pain, or chronic conditions, and some of these can cause dryness or reduce gut motility. Add in the fact that older adults may drink less fluid, either because thirst signals weaken or they want to avoid frequent bathroom trips at night, and you have a recipe for hard, infrequent stools. The result can be days of discomfort, straining that leads to painful conditions, and a cycle of fear around going to the bathroom. That's why focusing on certain foods can be so valuable. They can gently nudge the colon to work as it should, without forcing the body into a dramatic reaction. Each of the 5 foods we'll talk about tends to combine fiber, natural moisture, and nutrients that soothe or stimulate your digestive tract. The first of these, famously hailed by grandmothers everywhere, is prunes. Prunes might be the cliched remedy you think of whenever seniors talk about constipation, but there's a reason it stood the test of time. Packed with both soluble and insoluble fiber, prunes help bulk up the stool and retain water, so it's not uncomfortably hard. Beyond just fiber, prunes contain sorbitol, a type of sugar alcohol that naturally stimulates bowel movements. Many older adults find that eating a few prunes in the morning acts almost like a gentle laxative, encouraging the bowels to move by midday. But be warned, if you're new to prunes or if you go overboard, you can experience gas or sudden urgency, so it might take some trial and error to find the sweet spot. Mary initially disliked the texture and sweetness of prunes, so she started blending them into a warm cereal or chopping them into small pieces to add to her oatmeal or salad. Within days, she noticed that her stools were softer and easier to pass. As she grew accustomed, she could eat them whole as a snack. It became a simple, tasty solution, with the side benefit that prunes are also rich in antioxidants that help combat inflammation. Another star in the fight against constipation is oatmeal. Oats contain a particular type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which helps draw water into the stool, making it bulkier yet softer. This not only promotes regularity, but also feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, supporting overall digestive health. Seniors often appreciate oatmeal because it's gentle on the stomach, easy to chew, and can be combined with other bowel-friendly add-ins like berries or flax seeds. Oats also help stabilize blood sugar levels, which is an extra plus if you're coping with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes. The warm, soothing nature of a bowl of oatmeal in the morning can set a calmer tone for your digestive system the rest of the day. Mary swapped out her usual bagel and butter breakfast for oatmeal sprinkled with a little cinnamon. She found that not only did she stay more satisfied until lunchtime, but her bowel habits improved. Because she wasn't spiking her blood sugar, she felt fewer energy crashes, and that overall sense of balance seemed to reflect in her gut, too. It wasn't an immediate cure, but combined with her other changes, she felt day-by-day improvements. Flax seeds are another lesser-known but highly effective solution for seniors dealing with constipation. Rich in soluble fiber, flax seeds expand in your gut, helping to soften and move waste along. They also contain healthy fats, omega-3s, that can reduce inflammation. The trick is that flax seeds must be ground to unlock their full fiber potential. If you eat them whole, many will pass through unprocessed by the body. Ground flax can be sprinkled into yogurt, blended into smoothies, or mixed into oatmeal. Just a tablespoon or two a day can do wonders, but you have to ensure you drink enough water, otherwise the added bulk can actually lead to more constipation. Mary discovered that ground flaxseed had a pleasant nutty flavor, so she began adding it to her morning oatmeal or stirring it into a glass of water with a bit of lemon. This small ritual not only gave her a sense of control over her digestive health, but also added a rich source of lignans, compounds that some research suggests might help with hormone regulation and possibly protective effects against certain cancers. As with prunes, though, portion control is key. If you jump from 0 to 3 tablespoons in one go, you might end up with gas or bloating. A slow, steady introduction helps your system adapt. Yet another constipation-busting food is spinach, or leafy greens in general, but spinach stands out for its mild flavor and high magnesium content. Magnesium acts almost like a natural osmotic agent in the gut, drawing water into the intestines to keep things moving. Spinach also contributes insoluble fiber, which adds bulk. If you're tired of salads, you can easily sauté spinach or blend it into a soup or smoothie. The key is consistency. Just an occasional serving might not make a big difference, but if you incorporate a handful of spinach in your meals daily or several times a week, you could see your digestive rhythms improve. Some seniors worry about oxalates in spinach if they have kidney stones or certain conditions. So it's wise to talk to a doctor if you have a history of kidney problems. But for most, spinach becomes a low-calorie, high-nutrient friend that helps grease the wheels, so to speak. Mary started adding a small side of sautéed spinach to her dinner, pairing it with a lean protein. She discovered that not only did it help with elimination, but it also kept her iron levels stable, which can be an issue for older women, especially post-menopausal. The subtle perk was that she found spinach more pleasant than forcing down a raw kale salad, since spinach's texture is usually more tender and easy on the teeth. Finally, we arrive at avocados, a creamy, fiber-rich powerhouse that many seniors overlook because they assume it's just a trendy fruit for younger folks. Avocados have a blend of both soluble and insoluble fiber, along with healthy monounsaturated fats that can lubricate the intestines. This synergy can drastically reduce straining, especially if you incorporate avocados a few times a week. They also provide potassium, which helps maintain fluid balance in the body. another crucial factor in avoiding constipation. Some older adults worry about the calorie content of avocados, but if you're replacing something less beneficial like processed snacks or sugary desserts, the overall effect can be neutral or even positive. Mary tried half an avocado for lunch with whole grain bread. At first, she wasn't sure about the taste or texture, but she quickly realized it gave her a satisfying fullness without the heavy feeling other high-fat foods caused. Over time, this small swap contributed to smoother bowel movements. She also noticed her skin felt less dry, a bonus often reported by those who up their intake of good fats. Avocados can be mashed with a dash of salt and lemon juice for a simple spread, sliced onto salads, or even blended into green smoothies. Now that we've covered 5 foods, prunes, oatmeal, flaxseed, spinach, and avocados, you might wonder how to incorporate them without feeling like you're radically changing your diet. The good news is that these are all fairly versatile. Prunes can be eaten alone or chopped into cereals and baked goods. Oatmeal can replace typical breakfast staples or serve as a snack. Flax seeds can slip into almost any dish, from yogurt parfaits to soups. Spinach is easy to cook or use raw. Avocados can appear in sandwiches, salads, or be your go-to topping on toast. Seniors often find these foods don't just fix constipation, they also improve energy, help stabilize weight, and even support heart health. The key is regular, moderate intake. You don't have to gorge on prunes or add flaxseed to every single meal. Start small, observe how your body responds, and gradually build up. Also, remember to drink water consistently. A fiber boost without hydration can leave you more backed up. Another tip is to keep moving physically, even if it's just a gentle walk or stretching routine, because exercise pairs beautifully with high-fiber foods to keep your digestive tract active. Of course, every individual is unique. If you have conditions like IBS, Crohn's disease, or a sensitivity to certain foods, it's wise to proceed under medical guidance. Some seniors might need a different approach or have allergies to specific items. But for the majority, these 5 foods can form the backbone of a digestive-friendly diet. Many older adults rely on them to avoid the discomfort and unpredictability of chronic constipation. In fact, some find that once they adopt these items regularly, they no longer need to rely on daily laxatives or fiber supplements. That's not to say your medication plan should be ignored. Always follow your doctor's advice. But it's encouraging to know that simple, wholesome foods might reduce dependence on medicinal solutions that sometimes cause side effects. Also, keep in mind that stress and emotional health play a role in gut regularity. Seniors might face loneliness, grief, or worry that disrupts the normal function of the bowels. Combining a balanced diet with relaxation techniques, social connections, or gentle exercise such as yoga or Tai Chi can yield an even more powerful effect against constipation. If you're feeling anxious or depressed, speak to someone, a friend, family member, or professional, because emotional turmoil can tighten up the gut just as surely as a lack of fiber does. Mary eventually discovered that journaling and mild stretching each morning, along with her new food choices, made a remarkable difference, turning what was once a dreaded daily concern into a mild, manageable routine. Some might also ask about dried fruits in general, apricots, figs, raisins, and whether they can help. Yes, many dried fruits do contain fiber and can aid in bowel movements, but prunes stand out for their unique combination of sorbitol, fiber, and mild natural laxative properties. As for seeds, beyond flax, chia seeds also have a loyal following among seniors dealing with constipation, but if you're choosing chia seeds, make sure to hydrate them properly, or they might swell in your throat or stomach uncomfortably. Hemp seeds can also add fiber, though typically in smaller amounts. Each body is different, so it's not unusual to experiment, seeing which seed or fruit resonates best with your digestive system. You might wonder, is that it? Just add these foods and I'm fixed? Realistically, consistent relief often involves an overall approach: drinking enough water, staying physically active, managing stress, and ensuring you're not consuming large amounts of constipating foods like excessive cheese, red meat, or processed carbs. But starting with these 5 is a potent step. Seniors who incorporate them often notice improvements in a week or 2, and that momentum can motivate further healthy changes. Their success stories often revolve around how they no longer dread going to the bathroom or worrying about discomfort in social settings. Freed from that burden, they can focus on more joyful aspects of life, like hobbies, family time, or traveling. That's the beauty of a natural approach. It aligns with the body's needs, fosters better habits overall, and rarely brings unwanted side effects. If you're still uncertain, pick one of these foods, perhaps prunes given their classic reputation, and start incorporating it daily. Track how you feel after a week. If you see progress, consider adding another. Or maybe you're someone who adores oatmeal, so begin your mornings with it regularly, possibly stirring in ground flax for an added boost. Tweak, experiment, and trust that your body can guide you if you pay attention to how it responds. The worst-case scenario is that you find a different combination of fiber-rich foods you like more, but at least you're not relying on harsh chemical options from day one. In many ways, seniors deserve gentle, consistent solutions that don't produce dramatic swings, and these foods fit that description well. We should also note that if your constipation is chronic or severe, a professional evaluation is crucial. There might be underlying causes like thyroid issues, medication side effects, or specific gastrointestinal disorders. So don't ignore persistent problems. But for moderate issues or occasional difficulty, these dietary tweaks can be transformative. Doctors often encourage them because they're safe, readily available, and come with additional nutritional benefits. Even those who remain on certain medications find synergy between diet changes and their prescribed regimen. The difference is that they might rely less on rescue laxatives or endure fewer side effects. In closing, constipation can feel like a daunting, embarrassing topic, but it's widespread, especially among older adults. You're not alone, and you're not doomed to suffer. Seniors who tackle the issue proactively, especially by adding constipation-fighting foods like prunes, oatmeal, flax seeds, spinach, and avocados, often regain a sense of control over their digestive health. Beyond just going more regularly, they report better moods, reduced bloating, and even improvements in skin health or energy levels. The shift doesn't have to be complicated. Just a few mindful adjustments to your grocery list and daily meals can make a substantial difference. Remember to keep your water intake up, stay active, and give your body time to adapt. As you find relief, you'll also discover a deeper appreciation for how the right foods can support a strong, healthy life at any age. If you know someone else who struggles with constipation, consider sharing these ideas with them. You never know whose life might improve from something as simple as a bowl of oatmeal or a handful of prunes. Here's to comfortable, easygoing days and the freedom from the worry that often keeps seniors homebound or anxious. Feel free to comment or share your own experiences. Let's keep the conversation open, because the more we talk about issues like constipation, the more solutions we can find, and the better we can feel.